Clip 2 from the lane the other day. Body position is on point. Board toe side edge is leaning over a little bit into the wave face. Your visual attention and momentum are carrying into this section really nicely, and now you got something to do up here maneuver wise. The main theme I want us to be focusing on in general is that, down the line speed is obvious, but when you get to cruising speed that way across the face, you want to start mixing in. You can carry up and down the face without losing speed as much, and you're going to get more maneuvers in that same amount of space, okay? So you're utilizing your momentum that you've generated on the wave, and you can get even more, travel more in the same linear amount of space by keeping that board on rail, which requires precise, unified mechanics between body and board, and that's what we're going to get into now. So you're going to drop down the face of the wave, almost to the trough, reach down, okay? Hands coming back, body compressed, board's on rail. I'd like to see this back arm reaching down a little bit more, and while this front arm is reaching down, when you start your turn up the face, this arm's going to start reaching up. The more you reach up in front of you, and the more this back arm drops, and you get the board out in front of you, the sharper you can come off the bottom and get more vertical on the face. And then it requires the opposite engagement. So let's see how you come up into that, okay? So between here, this apex of the turn, let's look at your angle, right? That's fine. Board's coming on rail, but if you could be here, like halfway between, because you dropped down with all that speed and then got those mechanics right so that the board has a sharper comes out a sharper apex to get vertical, everything's going to be crisper and flow and more powerful and dynamic, okay? Boom, let's see this, okay? You're way over your board, but arms out the right way, front arms leaning down, board's on rail. Your back foot is starting to push the board, your front knees bent a little bit, and the board's going to start redirecting, okay? But right there is where your upper body stops twisting, okay? This back arm needs to lean back, all right? And this arm needs to come around more so that you can keep the board on rail and not stall out right here and then have to recoup, because now you're right in the whitewater. Let me show you something. I'm going to rewind just a little bit, okay? A little bit more. Okay, like if we get this, mechanics, motion, awareness, kinesthetic, exosomatic development, all those terms for basically just using speed, body, board more effectively in the wave, Felipe Toledo's going to be carrying not that much more speed than you in the initial stance, but he understands, he has a spatial awareness. Like he's like, in this, if I drive down here and I get the board on rail, I can come all the way up, boom, turn, come back, bam, off the section, and come back and be back here when you're halfway through your turn and still have a bunch of speed to do something else there. That's what we're going after. Okay? So stomp the tail, flat turn, recovering, no big deal. Okay, now back mid-face, looking for another spot to turn. Boom, coming up, body's over the board. Okay, board's starting to come on rail, but you were mid-face, you're up a couple more feet. You're only using that middle third of the wave, really, right? Verticality leads to horizontal speed, maintaining, and more use of the actual wave. So you're going to stomp that little turn, but then you kind of stalled right there, right? Because you stomped it. If it was on rail, you'd come down you exited your turn back here and be carrying a bunch of speed where you could almost get another foam climb there. That's what we're after. More maneuvers, more crispness, power, flow, and just precision.